You know what's strange? The moment your head finally touches the pillow, your brain suddenly decides it's time to make a movie. Not a real memory, not a dream, a story. Maybe you're standing on a stage, giving the perfect speech, while everyone listens in complete silence. Maybe you're finally telling someone exactly how they hurt you, and this time, they actually understand. Maybe you're imagining becoming wildly successful overnight, and watching every person who doubted you slowly realize they were wrong. You don't just imagine it once, you replay it. You rewrite it. You change one sentence, a little smarter, a little braver. Somehow, the version of you inside your mind always knows exactly what to say. Then, without realizing it, you fall asleep. If this sounds familiar, you're far from alone. Millions of people create entire imaginary worlds before they sleep. Some imagine conversations that will probably never happen. Some replay old arguments from years ago. Some picture impossible futures that feel strangely real. Others become the hero of a story nobody else will ever see. And here's the interesting part. Most people think this happens because they're simply overthinking. But psychology suggests something much deeper. Your brain isn't wasting time. It's trying to finish something. Because unlike computers, the human mind hates unfinished stories. Think about the last awkward conversation you had. Maybe someone interrupted you before you explained yourself. Maybe someone misunderstood your intentions. Maybe you stayed quiet, even though your mind was screaming with words you wished you had said. The conversation ended, but your brain never accepted that it was over. So later, when the world becomes quiet, it quietly opens that file again. Not to torture you, to complete it. That's why the scenes feel so detailed. The lighting, the voices, the expressions. Your mind isn't randomly creating fiction. It's rebuilding moments that still carry emotional weight. Almost like a movie director trying different endings to the same film. And that's why bedtime is so different from the rest of the day. During the day, your attention is constantly borrowed. Work, school, messages, responsibilities, noise. Your brain barely has time to notice how you actually feel. But when the lights turn off, something changes. The outside world becomes silent. And suddenly, your inner world gets loud. That's when the conversations begin. Not with other people, with yourself. You start imagining the life you wish had happened, the words you wish you had spoken. The version of yourself you secretly believe still exists somewhere beneath all the hesitation. It isn't laziness, it isn't childish, and it definitely isn't weird. It's one of the most human things your brain can do. Because before your body falls asleep, your mind wants one last chance to make sense of the day. So why does this happen? Why does your brain suddenly become a movie director the moment you're trying to sleep? Because during the day, your mind is busy reacting to the outside world. Work, school, messages, responsibilities. But at night, all of that becomes quiet. And for the first time all day, your brain finally has room to process you. Psychologists call this the hypnagogic state, the short period between being awake and asleep. During this time, your logical thinking starts slowing down, but your imagination is still wide awake. That's why these scenes feel so vivid. And notice what they're usually about. You finally say what you couldn't say. Someone finally understands you. You become more confident, more respected, more seen. These stories aren't random. They're built around emotions that never felt complete. Your brain doesn't like unfinished emotional chapters, so it quietly rewrites them, hoping to create the ending you never got. That's why an argument from 5 years ago can suddenly appear in your mind, while yesterday's lunch is already forgotten.